They're broken down and defeated, deterred, busy and confused, sleeping. You're dying while I wait you to get started. On the journey chosen, wasted, no one selected. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile. Sober, sad and jaded. They're not coming, they're broken down and defeated. You are dying while I wait you to get started. You are dying while I wait you to get started. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky, yeah. Crush me in my smile. I was so bad, what happened? Fall out of the sky and crush me in my smile.
I'm a motherfucking unicorn, a one of one. The vibe being the love and light, the enlightened one. My karma isn't just stellar, I live by truth. Fighting evil, my scars are living proof. Protecting you from the storms with all my might. Love me, I will treat you right. You ever cross me, it's the last thing you'll ever do. With my crown of thorns, I'll wreck you. I ain't playing, yo, Bryan hard, call me insane. Too bad Chris, because Bigfoot knows my name. I'm a messenger of God, with loyalty I serve. Taking out all evil with his holy word. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand. Slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC. So listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. A true Knights Templar, sword in hand. Slice you up, bury you in the sand. I'm a motherfucking unicorn, you'll never find anyone like me. Born in the Bronx, raised in NYC. So listen up, take heed. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Crossing Realms Conference is coming this September 19th and 20th to the Eagleton Civic Center in Richmond, Missouri. Tickets to this landmark event are on sale right now at Eventbrite. The powerful speaker lineup will cover topics from Bigfoot, UFOs, and aliens, so you will not want to miss attending this amazing two-day inaugural event. Again, that's the Crossing Realms Conference, this September 19th and 20th at the Eagleton Civic Center in Richmond, Missouri. Please mark your calendar and get your tickets before they vanish. Space is limited.
Holy Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all the other evil spirits who prowl through the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen and amen.
Amen. And I don't know if my mic's working, so I'm going to have everybody else tell me in the chat if my mic is working. I got 2 thumbs up from Phil. I don't know if Mark is just sitting there. He had a groin accident, and I think Tigger's Paul is hearing me. We're going to start the show because we're probably going to get into trouble either way. So joining me on this journey, of course, is the one and only Mark Eddy. Mark, welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you, Bryan?
Yeah, I'm all right. There's something going on with the audio. I don't know if I have to restart or there's an internet or a lot, the StreamYard thing. It's usually StreamYard that sucks. But I'm not sure what's going on. It sounds very echoey, and I'm getting private chat messages. It works. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And joining us too, because he said, hey man, if you want to hang out and I could, do some talk with Mark Eddy and whatever. And he has good insight anyhow. I mean, he's fun, funny, and this is like a perfect compliment to our guest tonight. We have Dirty Filth. We're going to add him to the broadcast. Welcome, Dirty. How are you? Your microphone is muted, just so you know. And I
didn't want to start swearing.
You can swear all the fuck you want. My show, it's not made for kids. Because I know my guest is going to be swearing. I knew him as a different name, but he is author Paul Ieson. You can see on the bottom scroll. He started writing books a couple of years ago. He's gotten tremendously good at the craft. Great, mind you. Great stories, and we're going to bring him in, but we're going to have him tell his story, and a lot of you may know who he is. You may know the voice, maybe not the face. Now you know the face. He's been on other shows with me, but author Paul Ieson, welcome to the broadcast. We're going to put you up to the right square. And how are you tonight, my friend?
I'm fine, and yeah, you're going to get in a lot of trouble tonight. What's that shit you were playing as an intro? I mean...
So the first song was written by a friend of mine. It's his song. He goes by Ron McGrath, and he did the intro, and I said to him at one point, you got to use this for your show, whatever you're doing. And he was like, well, I don't know. I said, well, then can I use it for my show? He's like, yeah. So he gave me a full license, even though I do get copyright strikes on my YouTube, which is really, really weird. And then the second one was I had another researcher in the field who is just being, he thinks he's God's gift to the planet. I said something and he was talking stuff. Instead of coming to his friend, which was me, and asking me questions, he went to other people like, oh, he's insane. I gotta go stay away from him. Mind you, he researches Bigfoot, but I'm insane. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I'm
the same too.
Yeah, and it's just, I literally, I told, like I've heard you're one of a kind. And I said, yeah, I'm a motherfucking unicorn. You'll never find anybody like me. So I figured, what the heck, I'll write a rap and semi-diss track in the same thing. But, yeah, that's where the rap comes in.
No,
I know
talking about that other shit with the angels. You'll hear about that tonight. You will hear about that tonight.
Yeah, if you could, I mean, I don't know if I'm asking anybody else, is he too low or is it just me? It's probably just me, right?
I think Paul needs to sit closer to the mic.
No, he can just raise the volume or the gain, and he'll be good. But yeah,
how's that? Is that any better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Right.
Well, it's really interesting you said what you said about the prayer. I actually say the prayer quite often. And I just finished reading a piece he gave me the privilege to read, and I appreciate that. I'm trying to find the name of the book. And so it's 48. I'm gonna add it to the screen right now, so people can actually see what we're talking about. Today I got a message and a PDF in my my computer is a little but so Paul just released this source, Enlightenment of the True Self, where he discusses, I'm not going to say it, it's really a quick read. It's beautiful. We're going to discuss some of it tonight, and talk about his other books. But before we do that, why don't you just give, I'm going to remove this, why don't you give everybody some background on you, so they know who they're talking to and who you are.
Okay, well, I guess. I'm the old paranormal DJ, had the radio station that everybody else came on and used and had their shows on. Retired from the radio, retired from the railroad. I'm an author. I've been writing for years and years. My latest book there was Source. It's not a book. It's more of a paper. It's 5,000 words or just a little bit over than that. And it's all about finding your faith. It's all about connecting to your higher self and the true source, not any God, but the true creator of the entire cosmos. And it's about connecting with the creator of the cosmos. And so you take that where you need to take it there, Bryan, or the other two gentlemen here. And I just published that today. It's live on Amazon and it's already live several different other places like Apple Books and Smashwords and so on. And if nothing else, I think you would enjoy reading it, and if you're not careful, you might learn something.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've known Paul for many years, and we've had conversations about source, and that's because of your direction where you found your faith. You originally one faith, and you grew up and you did another faith, right? Or you discovered this at one point.
Well, I always knew Christianity was not right for me. Religion altogether is not right. I have always been, I've been into the occult, actually practiced the occult since I was 17, 18 years old. But the occult is a path of ascension, is what the occult is. It's neither good or bad. It's all who is using their magic or whatever they're using to do whatever that they're doing, and it's on the intention behind whatever they're doing.
So that's what source is.
Source is the creator of the cosmos, of all the dimensions, of all the higher realms, all the lower. Source created everything. The Native Americans refer to Source as the Great Spirit, and the white man had a problem with the Great Spirit because it didn't fit into their Bible thing, because they didn't fear. The Indians didn't fear Source. They didn't worship Source. they respected Source for what Source is, and they had their plans of ascension to get back to Source.
Yeah, I think there is a noise. By the way, Gemini Moon, there is a noise. It sounds like we have like a mouse on a wheel or something moving around. I just want to see. And it is on your end, Paul, just so you know.
I don't hear
It
it.
sounds like a fan or something moving.
Oh, there's no fan. Well, you know I'm in my studio.
Yeah, no, I
with the
know where
windows
you.
open, and it's 85 degrees and humid as
Right,
hell.
right, right.
And I've
No,
got
no, no, no.
railroad tracks and all kinds of other things going on.
It sounds well. No. It just sounds like there's some other electronics messing with the electronics. So I apologize to everybody.
Oh,
Trust me, I understand where he's coming from because it's hotter than the effing sun where I am right now, and I'm not in Florida, where I would have air conditioning and it'd be kind of nice and sweet. And I don't know what's going on, like Mark, what West Virginia is like, and where a filth you are in Canada. Oh, Canada. So let me make sure everybody's unmuted. Okay. I hear a horn.
that's not my horn.
I know this is weird. We were having before the show started. There was some definitely issues going on with the audio on my end, and we got a blob right there for filth. Sorry, Mark, I didn't mean to cover you up. All hail the blob, who has passed on to Source.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes. She's in the supervisor's lounge now.
Yeah, she's in the supervisor lounge. I like when you started writing, and we were discussing this at one point. You wrote your first book, and let me bring up that. I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna point to it. I believe. Well, your first book was. It's different now, but let's go to share your. He's on Amazon, and let's go to all your books. I do believe the first one you put out
Immortals Among Us.
wasn't it Immortal Apocalypse or
Among
Twisted
Us.
Life?
It was
Excuse me?
Immortals Among Us. That was the first one,
Right, this one right here,
and then Twisted Life after that.
and then Twisted Life, and two fantastic reads. I kid you not, they are out of this world fantastic. Immortals and Twisted, and then it just got better and better. It's like refining your craft, and he really, you really did a great job in these books, and it gets better and better every time.
Well, thank you. It's not as easy as it might sound because, for one, I've got big print in all of my books. Everything that I write, all the papers, all that kind of stuff, I have big print simply because today it seems people have a lot of difficulty reading and seeing they can't see the little bitty print in the books anymore, so they don't touch them. Also, I try to keep everything that I write at a high school senior level so that everybody has the opportunity to be able to understand what is written. Immortals Among Us was my first book. I started writing it in '98. It didn't get published until, what was it, 2019, the first time? Or I lost you, Brian. I can't hear you. And
Yeah, you're right. It was about 2018.
2018, 2019 was that, and Bryan helped work on it and made the first cover for it.
Yep.
And then Twisted came out, and that's about time travel, and that's
You got to read Twisted.
That's a whole nother can of worms right there. An Immortal Apocalypse is after I got the publisher that I have, and she is an apocalyptic zombie publisher. So I went ahead and I wrote that. So those two books, Immortals Among Us and Immortals Apocalypse, go together. And Immortal Apocalypse was basically about how the lizard species was trying to take over the planet. And
listen to him. Lizard species trying to take over the planet.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's a
then I got
great book.
the ghost story book, which is a lot of the stories are pull out of my butt type of thing, but a lot of them are about what happened here in town. You know, that would be like this one here. This is the ghost story book, and then I've got
That's
a lot
like
of
a
stuff that's
bunch,
just on ebook. I've got
right?
horror stories on ebook.
And just so you know, like, so when we've had plenty of offline discussions, myself, Paul, and Al, you know, Santariga, and we all became like good friends. And there was an instant connection there, and there's stuff that he knows that is mind blowing. And so I started reading Twisted Life, and I, you know, I got a different, you know, the different cover because I was putting it together in the format, and he sent it out to Al, and he sent it out to me and a couple other people, and I called up Al after reading it, and I'm like, dude, did you read it? Did you read it? And like for days, I'm telling him, read the book, read the damn book. He's like, bro, what's going on? I said, did you read his book? He goes, no, I haven't done it. I'm like, it's his motherfucking autobiography. Read the book. And then he went in and he started reading it. It is such a sick book. And like I said before, the way it starts out, when I remember where Paul was writing initially is he writes as like a conversation. Like you're sitting by a fire, you know, you're having a campfire, and you're shooting the shit, pardon the expression, and someone comes out and tells you a story. And that's how it's delivered. If you're looking for highbrow, it's edited well. Now, you know, it's edited, and the craft he has been refined a lot. But if you're looking for something like Shakespeare or a traditional, you know, author using English properly,
I am not traditional whatsoever.
no, this is one of those books you take on a plane or wherever you're going, and you open it up and you're like, holy crap, I can't stop putting it down. And then you start, the imagery you get off your books is incredible, because then you want to like, you know, you try to, like when I was reading books before, like Michael Crichton stuff, and they butchered his stuff. I don't know if you guys were fans of him or not. I was, you know, Congo and all these different books and Sphere. And I'm like, wow, this would be a great movie. And then they just butcher it. Like they put some stupid crap in there. But I always imagine what things should look like on screen. And all his books at this point would make crazy great movies.
Well, I've got shorter stories that are just an ebook and an audio. Everything I have is an audio, by the way. But I've got like the story about the guy that works down the street from the cemetery who ends up burying people alive, just to make you know, to get your interest. Now I got a space story. I never write about space, but for some reason I did, and I put Bryan in there as an admiral for one of the characters. And I don't know if he's read that yet or not, but
no, I literally just finished reading what you sent me today.
What did you think about what I sent you today?
I thought about every argument we've ever had, but because I grew up in one thing, but it's basically Judeo-Christian, right? You know, whatever. And I believe in a God, and I believe in some of the messengers from God, like Jesus, and trying to explain source is just, it doesn't, you know, I wanted it to be, you know, like how God operates.
Well,
but so I'm new to this.
King James was a demonologist. He took the letter J and put it in front of the name for Jesus. He added that 300 years ago or so to the Bible. Now everybody's calling for somebody, and they don't get a reply because they're not using the right name. Yeshua or Yahshua is the man's real name, and he was also Anunnaki.
Anunnaki.
He's Anunnaki. Anunnaki created the human species as a slave race. There's Anu, which is the head king Anunnaki that came into this world. Enyo and Enki were his sons. Enyo was his firstborn. And Enyo was the one who created the human species, and Enki was the one who tweaked the human species and gave the humans the ability to think for themselves.
So they created the human species, or the human species existed already, and then they manipulated
it. They took caveman, whatever. They took cavemen, for example, and they took that DNA, and they took Anunnaki DNA, and they mixed them together, and they got humans. And then they did the same kind of shit. They got centaurs and all these other creatures that used to walk the planet. And angels, if you look deep enough into the Sumerian texts and the Emerald tablets, angels are Anunnaki. That's who they are. The actual angel species has never taken physical form. They might come and visit you in your sleep, and they keep their distance, but they never take physical form, and you don't know who they are.
So, is the attribution of wings a human construct, or did they have wings? Did they?
There's all kinds of pictures of the Anunnaki who have wings.
Well, yeah, there's a ton of Anunnaki that have wings. So the gods, like, that in the Bible, like, whatever gods you're talking about, like if Jesus is Anunnaki, no, you were talking about angels prior. So the angels are Anunnaki, so therefore they have wings. That's what you're stating.
The angels are Anunnaki, but here's another thing they lied to you about. Mary, Jesus' consort, was actually a very wealthy woman. She was not a whore. She was not a hooker. She wasn't anything like that. She came from a very prominent family, and they totally destroyed her timeline and made her out to be something that she wasn't.
But why would they do that to her?
Control.
If you don't mind me asking.
Control.
What are they controlling at that point? Are they controlling a male-dominated society?
Right there, at that point, women were supposed to be subservient to men.
Yeah. Well, if anybody's ever been married or with a woman, it doesn't work that way. We already know that they are the stronger sex. Gentlemen, anytime you want to jump in, but I think
I'm waiting for these guys to jump in and say something here, man.
Yeah, we'll let Mark and
I'm just pulling shit on my ass right now. So.
No, you're not. No, you're not. It's actually really good. Mark, you're muted. Hold on. Now you're unmuted. Go.
Okay, is the hybridization of the character, the Nephilim and Anunnaki, is that, or do you think that's consistent in all the artwork that appears from Sumeria up into through the Egyptian hieroglyphs? Are those artists conveying the same message that we're just kind of discovering, from watching Ancient Aliens, and you get the Horus and the different characters carrying the purse thing? Is that all the same consistent message through thousands of years of time?
I don't know how I could answer that because I don't really study the pictures, the artwork, the Sumerian texts, the Egyptian texts, the Emerald tablets written by Thoth, who was third generation Anunnaki. He's known as Thoth the Atlantean. The Emerald tablets describe how the pyramids were built, why they were built. They have stories in them like the Tower of Babel and what it actually really was, which was a spaceport that pissed off Anu, the king. So he decided to. Everyone used to be able to talk mentally, telepathically. And one day, Anu said that's enough, and Enyo decided to shut that communication off, and everybody spoke different languages, and they spoke from their mouth that time afterwards, and they couldn't communicate anymore, and that was done in an effort to keep humans in check.
So, like the Tower of Babel, you're arguing that the Tower of Babel story is
has been manipulated too, to talk about a tower that goes to the sky instead of what it actually was.
But okay, but it's there's some similarities over time. You're just like the language changing is a common theme, but the actual structure had different purposes.
Yeah, it was the tallest building in the world at the time that it was constructed. And this was done to piss off the other Anunnaki. That's exactly why it was built that way. And it was a spaceport because, I can't remember which Anunnaki god was in command of that at the moment. However, that's what it was. It was created to say, "To hell with you. We're going to do what we want." And Anu didn't put up with that and did what he did.
So he just said, "The hell with it."
And Anu, the king of the Anunnaki, said he didn't want humans were too smart. Basically, he said humans are too smart. We can't have them do this. The spaceport, we don't want this spaceport. So the building has to come down. And he ordered Enyo to have it torn down. And that was.
I just have this image, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go that way, of the movie Johnny Dangerously, and I can see Anna going, "Knock down that fucking wall, knock down that fucking wall, and knock down that fucking wall," and this is fucking wall. So there are multiple Anunnakis, right? And then they fight with each other because of what they gave to humans. Just trying to remember my Anunnaki.
They don't fight with each other because of what they gave to humans. They fight because they each wanted control. There's 6 different species of Anunnaki, and you can see that because there's and Enyo and Enki created the Anunnaki in the Middle East, or created the Anunnaki, created humans in the Middle East. The Chinese were created by a different set of Anunnaki. Do you get what I'm saying?
So
and you can see it if you go back, and you can see all the artwork and all the buildings that actually the spheres in India that got on the top of the buildings actually look like engines, and those engines actually mimic the engines inside your cells to make your cells move from point A to point B. People didn't get that knowledge. That was Anunnaki.
I'm telling you, I'm just thinking, I'm looking at filth right now, and I think the wheels are spinning. It's like, I don't know, I'm gonna start painting these Anunnaki soon.
I'm waiting for him to come down on me and say, I'm calling him bullshit.
No, I don't think he's gonna call bullshit, but I'm not speaking for you, filth. But I just looked in the chat, and then he said there were these guys duking it out in his parking lot.
Oh, they're trying to back a truck out, and it was hilarious. That's why I went on mute because it was backing up and had the beeping horn. I apologize.
Yeah. And our friend Jen out of Newfoundland said the Vilmana, Vimana. Yeah,
Vimana?
those are the it's the craft that look like the structures that you find in India and in the
Yeah,
various texts
the
there.
flying crafts.
Yeah, the flying crafts. Again, you're saying Anunnaki because I've had this conversation with him before, and I'm going to ask you this now because we just got more threats about nuclear war from Russia.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe in a galactic federation. I don't.
There
But
is no galactic federation.
that's
There
what
is
I'm
no
saying.
galactic federation, but the off-world people that come by here, to put it in that sense, are not going to allow anything nuclear to take place.
Okay.
Russia can shoot everything they want to towards us, but there's no nukes that are going to go off.
So that's a good thing.
Is that because that they're interested in the planet and they care more about the planet than the people that live on the planet?
That is because put it that way, yeah. AI, as far as they are concerned, the ETs, let's put it that way, AI is the reason that humans might end up going bye-bye.
Yeah,
And that's because AI cannot be. The Anunnaki even had the common sense not to use AI. And they're not going to have a Terminator scenario take place.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of AI. I don't know about. Let's do the survey there in chat. And Phil, do you like AI or you?
Nope.
Yeah, Mark.
I'm not a big fan of AI.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either because it's too black or white, and there's a shitload of gray in humanity. You know, a little bit darker gray than your color right now, Phil, but gray.
I need more sun.
Yeah, no AI. Everybody, I mean, like, yeah, we got no AI. We got Skynet, artificial intelligence equal
Poo-poo.
mode. Yeah, poo. Yeah, I don't, and I think that's going to be the death of us as well
Well,
because
When,
they're
when
going to
I,
get sentient, right?
when I heard about how far along AI is, immediately what came to mind, did anybody ever watch Stargate Destiny?
Stargate Destiny, no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
I missed that one.
they got on the ancient spaceship and they went across the cosmos in the spaceship and they came across this world that had recently been wiped of all life. And that was because they built their AI too well. And after the AI destroyed their enemies, the AI turned on the occupants of the world. And so now other species that come near that planet, AI immediately, whether they're a threat or not, destroys them in the TV show. And that's immediately where I went to in my head.
Oh, I mean, the closest thing, I mean, I did see the movie Stargate, and the closest thing I got to the series Stargate at that point was I did work with Cliff, who played Ball on Stargate when I did some filming for his one only episode season of Into the Unknown. Unfortunately, some people, we've experienced it today, that don't believe in curses or warnings, heed warnings. He did the Hawaiian marchers, fire marchers, which are, if you look at them, when you hear the drums and them coming through, you're going to die. And not long after that show aired, he had a tragic kite surfing accident, and he died. So, and then there's another person today, who was with Annabelle, that doll, the haunted doll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what do you think about that stuff, like curses and the evil side of things? Who is that?
It's just two sides of the same coin, man.
So it can't.
Perception. Evil is a perception. What looks evil to you might not be evil to me.
Right.
Okay, but curses and haunted objects like Annabelle, I've never had any dealings with anything like that as far as on a wide public scale. But I do know that curses that, and spell work can be done on objects so that somebody can put a curse on an object and then give it to somebody else and they don't even know what's going on. And then they have a stream of bad luck until they throw the object away, because that's what the object was intended to do, was to spread the chaos. But
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, I always thought that, like, with curses, the more you believe in it, the more it has a hold on you, and the less you believe in it, it doesn't really
well,
bother you.
it's not, well, yeah, the more you believe in it, the more it can affect you. It's the placebo effect is what
Yeah.
it is.
Um,
You know,
generational curses are weird too, right? They have issues with those.
I don't know that I believe in generational.
I mean, actually, we have Jen who's asking, and I'll put it up. I don't know if you know about the haunted doll Annabelle, but what are your thoughts about the doll guy? I think there's something to it, and I think
I don't know
when you
anything
don't
about
heed
it.
the message. So there's a gentleman who's been involved in the paranormal for a long, long time, and his name is Dan Rivera, and he was going around. There's a doll, like, it looks like Raggedy Ann. They called it Annabelle, and
Yeah,
it was
I know
cursed.
who Annabelle is.
Yeah, and they went on a tour with it, and he was the person with the doll. And at one point, I think the doll burnt. Well, there was a fire at the museum, where the doll was, and someone touched it and they got injured. And there's a whole bunch of mishaps that happened with the doll. And just the other day, unfortunately, Dan died from a heart attack, I believe.
I
I
think
think he had like a bunch of stents put in at one point, and then just had another heart attack.
I
And just
think
didn't wake up.
that if you have a haunted object, then common sense tells you that you leave that object in an area that's protected where it cannot harm anybody, and you don't go on tour. That's what I
Right.
think. And so I think the guy taking it on tour was a fucking idiot. That's why I never paid attention to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's, like, there's some people. We have a friend in common, and he's like, he used to be very aggressive, like, I'll go and do it. I'm the tough guy. And I'm like, well, you can be the tough guy, but I think it's better to not be the tough guy in certain situations. I don't mess around with stuff that basically demonic based. It's above my pay grade. I don't, I've got a couple of kids. I don't need, crap coming home with me. I need, like, that crap coming home with me, like, I
That's
need another
90%
daughter.
of paranormal investigators. I mean, if you don't know how to shoot a gun, why are you going into a firefight acting like you do? And that's
No,
90% of paranormal investigators. They do that shit. And
there's a lot of there's a lot of times when you're coming up against something that isn't demonic. It's just someone, who is a cranky old bastard in life, an SOB, and then when they die, they're a cranky old bastard SOB in death. But when it gets, I don't think demons play games. They're not going to be like, oh, I'll open and slam open and shut the the cabinets for a bit and throw a couple of knives. No, when
demons
you
don't do that kind of stupid shit.
no,
If
they
they don't
don't.
fuck
They
something
just
up, they're actually going to fuck it up.
yeah, they do it, and I mean, you kind of can get a sense of that stuff. I don't know if um anybody actually Filth or Mark Filth. You probably been around with a lot of other shows where people start talking about that stuff, and you're like, uh, you know,
I don't really like to. I leave things to the professionals. I just draw cartoons, and I'm interested
yeah.
in the subject, but I'm not going to go out and attempt to do ghost hunting or look for Sasquatch in the forest or try to summon something because that's not my forte. I'm not wizened in that type of stuff, so I just leave it alone for the professionals to deal with.
So you
Yeah,
call
but
Ghostbusters?
okay,
Yes.
Something
Yeah,
strange.
yeah,
what is a
Paul,
professional
do you
when it
find
comes
that
to paranormal investigating?
Say that again.
What is a professional? What makes you a professional when you paranormal investigate when everybody pulls it out of their ass?
Good point. Somebody
That
with a little more knowledge, I guess I should clarify.
maybe they accept payment or they get paid for it. I don't know. Um,
The real good people that I know that do paranormal investigating don't accept money.
yeah, I've never accepted anything. Although this one lady at one point, we helped her out. We did a saging of her home. We had to do it without smoke, so we came up with something called Water of God and Aqua de Dio, and you can instantaneously once we started spraying it, the energy in the room felt lighter. It smelled great too. And she's like, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," and we didn't ask her anything, but she like knitted each one of us a hat. you know, she
How,
literally, I still have the hat. I mean, like, thank you very much. There's no need.
Sir Brian, how were these entities affecting the person in this case study?
In which one? And the one that with Dan.
Yeah, the one the lady who knit the hats for you. Because I was
So
trying to maybe link that back to one of the early statements that Paul made, which was about finding your true self. Are these in all these paranormal investigations? Are these beings preventing you from reaching your highest self or getting away from your true self? I just kind of have an
You,
interest in looking at it through that
the,
so
lens.
the
that
person,
yeah.
the person prevents themselves from reaching their higher self. Their higher self and source are both together already. What's going on is that there's a direct link between your higher self and who you are here. And um, getting to know who you are instead of walking around life like you don't know what the hell's going on when it comes right down to it is not a good thing. You need to figure out who you are, what you stand for, which side of the street you stand on, if you understand what I'm saying. Um,
Right.
and you need to surrender yourself to your higher self and to source. And surrendering, we have been programmed to believe that surrendering means that you're giving up and that you lost the battle. But when you're surrendering to source, to spirit, to your higher self, you're actually creating a two-way communication. It's a two-way street. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And your
So you're
higher self will guide you. That voice that's in your head that you sometimes hear, that's your higher self. That's not some demon talking to you. That's not some angel talking to you. That's you on the other side.
that's yeah. I just finished reading that read. It's really an easy read, and I think it's Is it 99 cents now? You just posted it up
Oh
on.
no, I think it's $3 or something.
Yeah. I mean, he has a couple of things, short stories that are 99 cents. They're great, but getting back to what Mark says, and the same thing with in relationship, this woman was getting the evil eye from another gentleman,
Yeah.
like he was giving her the evil eye. So it's basically a curse in his culture, and she felt it, and weird things started happening, and whether or not it was true or not, that was her next door neighbor. She definitely believed it enough where it was affecting her life. And we told her
Well,
ways to cleanse herself and how we cleansed the apartment. And she was just thankful because all of it stopped.
well, if you
The
have
old
an
guy,
idea, if you
say
have an
again?
idea if you have an idea where the evil eye is coming from, take a mirror and point it in that direction. And
Yeah, that's
on the back of the mirror, you write, "I send back whatever is sent to me," or something to that effect.
right. So you could do that. Like there's used to be some women way back when would wear like a mirror on a pendant around their neck or something that reflect so that if someone sent the evil eye their way, it would shoot back at the person sending it. But something's very interesting. Woo put up this question. I'm going to put it up, but it was initially directed to you, Filth. But I think I'm going to direct it to everybody. And sorry, it's covering you, Mark. Um, he says, with the cat's dirty filth does he notice the cats ever sense things that people can't see? And on top of that, Paul, you have animals.
Yep.
Mark has animals, so we can all go around. So since you were the first person, filth, on that, if you could answer that.
They don't really notice, at least as far as I know, they don't seem to notice anything. But I've had some interesting times when I was sleeping and I feel like I was about to float, but because the cats are on me, I don't really go anywhere. I can feel I don't know whether it's my body or just my astral corpse or whatever. So I just feel like they're holding me down. I actually drew a cartoon about it once because it happened a few times, and it's never happened until I've had cats. Other than that, I usually just float up and float around or whatever. But I feel like maybe it's just these two guys, these two dickheads of mine, and they just kind of are like little like weights on me. So that's about as good as I can answer that question.
Um, Paul, have you? I mean, I know you got the boys there.
Well, yeah, I got two shepherds, and well, there's the latest edition is a little gecko, and there's a turtle, and there's fish, and there's two rats.
So it's like Wild Kingdom in your house. But
It's
did you
wild fucking kingdom in my house.
yeah, do you ever notice them going a little bit like they catch something that you're not seeing and something's there?
My shepherds, no, they never really pay attention. They never, once in a great while, they might look up and see the, when you see something around the corner, under the corner of your eye type deal, they might be staring at that for a little bit and checking that out. That's as far as it goes. But, I live in a haunted house. It's usually
Yeah,
quiet anymore because I get, we have a relationship with the ghosts
the
here.
spirit that's there.
The spirits, the ghosts, whatever you want to call them, and so we get along, and so you don't really notice anything too much.
Okay,
And
that's kind of a cool way. I mean, we've suggested that to a couple other people too. Like, well, just become friendly with your spirit and let them know that, like, I know you're dead now, but you're more than welcome to be here. Just give us some space, and we're gonna keep it nice and clean or do whatever. Mark, I know you have killer a few raptors in your house or a raptor. That does the bird act strange at certain points when there's an uneasiness, or do they sense something?
I don't know. Birds are a little bit of a different pet. I hear people talk a lot more about dogs and cats are more sensitive. Just with my personal observations, I don't know if parrots pick up on, you know, unexplained phenomena? I don't know, but
Yeah,
I just don't know. Even with, with the when the flood was going on,
they didn't do anything.
well, they didn't uh, really. Since some of it was going on at night, they couldn't see really well outside. They haven't really noticed been acting differently since things are kind of returning to normal. It's
Right.
really hard to tell with birds. So I'm trying to answer your question, but I'm not really conveying a
Yeah.
definitive yes or no. It's a little there. Birds are a little unusual pet,
So, yeah.
but
I
it seems like a lot of people who are dog or cat owners are um, far more likely to uh, report very distinctive behaviors when a dog sees a Bigfoot, and Stan
oh yeah.
Gordon's in uh, Silent Invasion documents that very well.
Yeah, I mean, I know, my brother's wife's two cats. They were, when they were alive, these two black cats, they were just a killing machine. That was just, they go out, and what they would do is they would, whatever they killed, they leave on, his wife's pillow, and that's tribute. It's like, we pray to you now. I mean, one time they took down a pretty big raccoon, and I mean, that's
Hmm.
how they were super quick. My dog noticed stuff too. It's when the dogs get upset and they cower or something. That's when I get a little bit uneasy, because a lot of these dogs shouldn't be cowering. And when my our new dog goes behind me, I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me, dude. You got like double rows of killing machine teeth, and you're gonna hide behind me. I'm like, that sucks. you know. But yeah, it's just weird stuff. And since you brought up the storm, because he's in West Virginia, Paul, he was in the Ohio Valley, and I know you're up in the strangest state in the union, Ohio. I mean, I've never met. There are more paranormal people in per capita, I think, in Ohio than any place else in North America. Maybe some people have something different on that, but
You have
um,
Grassman, Eastern Ohio.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but eh, he doesn't. He won't go after the grass man. He's like, whatever. He's a bastard. But we were talking before at a couple point, just before the show started. There was a place in Parkland, Florida, and I know this is where we're gonna get screwed on the whole thing. Um, uh, that got almost 12 inches of rain in under an hour. That's significant rain.
Hmm.
Mark had a stream in his backyard that went to about 6 feet, 6 to 10 or something like that.
I think you're somewhere in the ballpark.
Right. I don't know what's going on in Phil's neck of the woods. Um, if you have like unusual weather, and I think you're muted.
Not right now. It's fairly warm. We've actually had a kind of a cool summer in Alberta,
Really?
at least in Edmonton. Normally it's pretty sweltery hot, and we've only had a
I,
couple of really hot days.
Phil, are the fires near you? Are they more east? Over, before I had to deal with the flooding. Um, the Ohio Valley was dealing with a lot of the wildfire smoke. Has that impacted you?
No, Mark. Where I live, there are some forest fires north of Edmonton, and they've mostly calmed down. It's mostly in eastern Canada that's been pretty rowdy. But last year or 2 years ago, we had a lot of forest fires, and 3 years ago it was really bad. It was, I mean, I woke up for like 2-3 days in a row, and it was like just orange skies for 3 days and just thick smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
Yeah,
gruesome.
that was like a couple of years ago, and everything was orange. I remember, I'm like literally the whole like I'm standing outside my friend's building. Everything is orange. It looks like something, some kind of like bad video game, like end of the
Yeah.
world scenario. And it's hard, there's some breathing issues or whatever. And I'm standing there with my buddy and we're smoking cigars. Lady goes, "Oh my God, the cigars." I'm like, "Lady, look the fuck around you. It's fucking orange." So it's here's where we get in trouble: weather manipulation or Mother Gaia. Let's go around the horn on that one. Tigger, Paul.
I think that Guy is playing a big part of it. I think that she's tired of the weather manipulation, and she said, "Hold my beer" to the humans, and now she's doing what she's doing.
Okay. Mark, weather manipulation or Mother Earth or a higher power?
No, I think it's caused by man.
Caused by man?
No,
That's his strain that goes by.
it's an agenda. I'm sure that's enough to get this show taken down. But why do you keep having the pattern of 6 inches of rain in a short period of time? A lot of times there's no warning. It just seems like like when you think back a few years to when people had an illness. There were some patterns going on,
Right.
and there's just seems to be something unusual going on, like having this many floods in such a short time.
Yeah, we got hold on, Amy there saying encouraging people to accept intelligent metropolitan areas. Yeah, smart cities. We just said it. So it's been fun, folks. Goodbye.
Yep.
But that is, part of the problem. But I also believe what Paul was saying, because the there's a ton of people on social media playing political games, whether the Democratic side or the Republican side or wherever, and they're blaming the guy in office for cutbacks on NOAA, and that's why the flood in Texas took place, and no one can be rescued and whatever. They're blaming that, but they don't know enough information or the fact that the current, the way that the water current and the air currents have moved since we've all been born from the Arctic has reversed. That's Gaia. That's Mother Earth saying, screw you.
What?
And when you reverse it and you get this water changing, your whole weather pattern starts to change.
Well, Paul was his home state was like the equator 300 million years ago.
Yeah, well, that explains so much. I mean, apparently, look at filth. He has not one bit of tan line. Not one freaking tan line on that man whatsoever. But
Oh,
it's,
jeez.
I know from, I've been in Pittsburgh area, and whatever weather's there is coming to New York.
Hmm.
So I know where Paul lives. I don't think Paul, your weather really affects anybody to the east as much, like the New York area, but it may go up into Canada. Am I close? How the pattern usually is?
Weather I have here is going to go into Pennsylvania. I'm in a
Okay.
valley. I am in a valley. And then it goes towards Cleveland, and then it's in Pennsylvania. So what I get here today, Pennsylvania, I'll see tomorrow. You know, it's
Right.
kind of like what happens in Chicago, we're going to get the next day.
Oh, okay. So it does work that way. And it's just, it seems too convenient between certain towers that are used to predict weather, the NextRad towers that send out microwave signals, and they get the bounce back on their radars to kind of predict where storms are popping up. They already know that those towers can heat the atmosphere, and you heat the atmosphere enough, you create a disturbance and you create a storm. You can also ping pong storms that are pre-existing off those radar towers and drive it to certain areas. Um, and a lot of what I've been seeing looks like storms that shouldn't be popping up, like boom, like this cell popped up today in Florida, and you're getting 12 inches of rain in under an hour. That's a significant amount of rain. Um, I don't remember having all these type of weather events, and we had winter, spring, summer, and fall. We legitimately had 4 seasons. Now we have like two and a half. You know, it's either really hot or really cold, and every once in a while you'll get that, like a couple of months of, oh wow, I could breathe again. You know?
Yeah, it's a little, yeah, yeah, like the shoulder season kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, I saw Phil's post, and it's like it's sweltering. You must be, like, got to be dying at certain points. It's like it's super hot in my apartment right now. You know, I don't have a fan in this area where I'm doing this, and I mean, it's insane what's going on with the weather. So
Do you think some of the hurricanes have been deliberately intensified?
you, I think so personally. I don't know everybody else's take on it. And look at this, great white sharks now in Newfoundland, going up as high. Well, I guess the water kind of heated up a little bit over there to get you that far up. But I think everything's a lot more intense now. We've already heard Paul says it's Gaia. Mother Earth is like, hold my beer. I'm tired of all you people screwing around. Is there any Anunnaki or outside influences that are preventing something major league weather-wise? Or they're like, oh, the hell with it. If they kill each other, that's less that we have to clean up.
No, basically
And
they're standing there on the sidelines right now. They're just watching. They're
what
waiting
are
for
they waiting for something? Like
they're
something
waiting for
specific?
stupidity. Yeah, what we were talking about earlier with the nukes and so on. If they have to go stop the nuke, there's so much other intelligent life on this planet that humans refuse, for one reason or another, to accept that's here. And it's not just humans that are intelligent here, but the ETs know who these people are without going into detail.
So,
And
yeah.
yeah, so we're just sitting here on the sidelines watching at the moment, waiting for the next stupid thing to happen. And but there will be no nukes. That I can guarantee you there will be no nukes. people can talk shit on and make AI videos and all that on TikTok and whatever. There's no nukes. There will be no nukes.
Apparently, the dogs did see something tonight, folks. Yes.
Somebody's at the door or something. I'll
Barking
mute
at the
this.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, probably. It could be. No, it could be the other half. But I got while he's paying attention to the dogs, I'm going to throw it up. Paranormal Newfoundland podcast and Boots on the Ground team. Boots on the Ground. She wants to know from you, Paul, Planet X Tigger? Question mark. What do you know? Yeah, what do you know about Planet X? Nibiru. Yes.
Well, I don't know much about Nibiru or Planet X or whatever you want to call it, the supposed planet of the Anunnaki, when the ancient texts talk about how they came from another solar system altogether, out past Ceres, and that there's 6 different species, so the Anunnaki came from 6 different places. And Nibiru, they tried to say that Nibiru smashed into this planet at one point, and that's where we got the moon, and that's where we got what's left of the earth. And then they say all kinds of other stuff about Nibiru, and so I couldn't really tell you, sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, because there's always a lot of talk with the Anunnaki and Nibiru, Planet X. That was Zechariah Sitchin, I believe, right? With the tablets.
Yeah, with the Sumerian tablets.
Yeah, I mean, like how there's a lot of debate about the translation aspect of the tablets. That's the train.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, hang on,
Yeah,
I'll mute it.
No, it's
I missed
cool.
the trains.
No, we're fine with the trains. You don't understand it. When he used to do his show, Swamp Gas, you'd hear it all the time. You know, and it was great.
Oh, that and the crickets. And the crickets, I don't know if you can hear them tonight, but the crickets are out there.
No, we got definitely that train. I mean, it seems like you're like right there.
I just got crazy homeless people outside my house, so
Are they talking to each other?
they use like a hand signal code type thing.
Oh, really? They're throwing hands.
Yeah.
They've got like their
hobo
own
gang signs.
hobo. Yeah.
Anyway,
That
sorry.
must be great. We got an all aboard, which is great. Yes. What do you think about actually where Lil Cam says I subscribe to the ancient alien theory? So we're that's basically what you were saying, Paul, right? Like ancient aliens coming here, seeding not seeding the planet, but creating the human being and using them for whatever work that they wanted to do. Where did my thing go? There we go. I'm back.
All Anunnaki means is those that come from the sky. That's what Anunnaki means. There are 6 different species that I know of that were in that group labeled the Anunnaki. And they created mankind, they created the pyramids, they did a whole lot of different things, and there was a war that almost destroyed the planet the second time they had a war. So, but it's ancient aliens theory. I guess that's ancient aliens theory. But I look more. Let's put it this way. I believe the Emerald Tablets. I believe in them stronger than I believe the fucking weatherman on the nightly news.
And do me a favor, because most people don't know the Emerald Tablets. Can you give a little background on that?
The Emerald Tablets were written by Thoth. Thoth is 3rd generation Anunnaki. He's known as Thoth the Atlantean.
And
that's where you get thought from. That's where the word thought comes from, is his name.
I'm just watching, both like getting ready to duck under the table or whatever.
I'll actually be okay.
So
You should.
I've al-
He's keeping his mouth shut too much. That's what's eerie about this dude right here.
Bill listens a lot, and he comes in. He's been doing a little bit of the chat as well,
I
but
don't like cutting people off very much. I feel terrible doing that.
yeah. Oh, you can do that here.
No, everybody else
Cut
does
us
this.
off. Cut us off anytime you want. So, speaking of, the Atlanteans, I've always proposed that Atlantis was a craft, a submersible craft.
No. Atlantis was a continent. Was a whole continent.
Why couldn't it be a craft?
Because it was a whole continent.
Where'd the continent go?
It sank.
Maybe it was like
And
Sorry.
it sank. Plato talks about why it sinks. I don't remember why it sunk at the moment.
Because
I'm
I mean,
sorry.
no. I'm not putting you on the spot whatsoever. I'm just saying, like, if you look at Google See or some of this stuff, anytime they don't want you to see something, they'll fuzz it out. They'll put the fuzzy stuff over it, or like the big white block. So they don't have anything like that in any part of the ocean that I'm aware of. So wouldn't you see the remains or the outline of a continent at that point? Like Atlantis.
I don't know. I can tell you where I personally think Atlantis was. And personally, I think it was, out there by somewhere around Egypt somewhere. Personally.
Really?
In one of the Dead Seas or something. Or it was in I don't know, really.
Well, so
the
so
Atlantic, I don't really
Beyond
know where the
Gibraltar.
continent would be.
what about Gibraltar?
I think one of the descriptions was beyond, the Strait of Gibraltar.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I
I
always thought by Bimini, in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
If I may, because I'm into geography and maps and junk and just reading things, history and whatnot. Anyways, there was a continent, I think it was called Great Adria, and something like 100 million years ago, it began sliding underneath the European continent, and there's only a small bit of the continent that remains now. It runs from Turin in Italy to basically the heel of the boot, and its geologists
Really?
call it Adria. So, and that began sliding underneath the European continent. So, maybe something like that happened. I'm not sure. I'm not a geologist or anything. It's just stuff that I've read. Like I said, I can't rightfully say it's the truth, but it's just stuff that I've read, and it's a bit by geologists and junk. But, anyways,
But what you
it's
just
an
said
interesting
backed
thing to
up
look up.
what you just said can back up what Paul's saying, that it was a continent, and maybe that continent through whatever slid underneath what is the current continent right now, or two continents. Um, you know, um, I'm going to ask him another question, sidebar on it, because where things disappear that we thought were there, and we've known they were there, but they change. What about? Are you ever going to address and what is your opinion of the Mandela effect? And do you ever address any of it in your books, or will you be addressing it?
I know I won't. I don't address the Mandela effect.
Is there a reason?
What exactly do you mean by the Mandela effect? Because there's a few different
Well,
meanings.
So the Mandela effect is in the late 1990s or 2000, early 2000s. Fiona
yeah.
Broom said, "Hey, I thought Mandela was dead, but he wasn't dead." Just like I remember the cornucopia on the
I remember
fucking
now.
Fruit of the
Right?
Looms. So,
Yeah.
is there something to the Mandela effect? Are we are
It's
we
not that there's the
playing with
Mandela effect,
timelines?
is that the way things are going and the way people are supposed to be growing spiritually and so on, you don't necessarily stay in the same reality. And you shift realities kind of like a page in a book. Each page is your life story, the same fucking story, only there's one thing that's different on each page. And somehow in your sleep or whatever, you end up going from one page to the next and you wake up on the next page. But it's the same story, if that makes any sense.
So I contend that through a series of big, powerful explosions of some kind or energy bursts, we've literally fractured our timeline and the timelines around us. And then when they come back together again, natural process to, heal again. We have like a hole in, we have part of one and the other part of another. Like right now in some other timeline, they're like, we never had a cornucopia on Fruit of the Looms, but now there is one. They're getting the residuals of what was ours at one point because they jumped a different,
Well,
reality, I guess.
it goes with realities like in my book, Twisted Life. I get to it, hint to it, where the main character, the original reality, the main character came from. Only one tower fell, not two.
Right. I think you will thoroughly enjoy his books. And I'm not just saying because I'm friends with him. You will enjoy his books. But I would beg you to go. I think Twisted Life, go read that first. And you're gonna just like, oh my God, this is awesome. And we're talking about time slips and trips and what have you. So I really, really want you go to Amazon, get it. You can get you did every book in Audible, right?
Everything, no, not everything is in Audible. There were a few stories on Audible. Most of them are on Spotify.
Oh,
And
Spotify, sorry.
yeah, but everything is in audio except for the latest book. That I'm going to do sometime here in the next week or so. I'm going to do the audio for that. I'm still setting up this new computer, so I will get that figured out.
Okay. That wouldn't be too bad, but
And yeah,
awesome stuff right there.
everything's an
His books are
ebook.
great. Yep. And okay, I'm just looking at the different. I'm multitasking right now, but
I see that
uh,
brain smoking.
yeah, trust me. I'm gonna be smoking another cigarette in a minute. I got like this dog that keeps bumping into me and doing all this stuff, and it's hotter than the sun at this point.
Have you considered feeding your dog?
He's been fed. I have an Australian Labradoodle that I like to call an asshole Labradoodle because he's
He
just an
has to
asshole.
he has to go outside and find homeless children to bring in to feed his dog. So it's something else to get.
Yeah, no, my kids, they don't want to, they hold him like a baby, and then they're like, I'm not walking them. No, they take care of him, but not as much as they, should. But he's right here, and I was just, Jesus. So I was just considering the timeline stuff because I think there have been times in the past, recent past, where we've had like I felt like we've been going in and out of different things. And that's him. He's a pain in the ass. But
Look at that thing.
yeah.
I think he takes
Thank
after his owner.
Yeah,
They got the same haircut.
we do. We do. We go to the same barber. Actually, his last haircut, he had a mohawk. And I'm like, he had like that, you talking to me? You barking at me? I didn't think you were barking at me. The kids didn't like it. Like, what the hell did you do to the dog? But do you think we keep going in and out of timelines? Like we're having this battle between the good and evil, and like good
There's
does something,
nothing,
flip a switch.
there's nothing in the universes that is static. Everything moves, everything changes, things bump into each other and cross over constantly, all the time. It's just the way that it is.
But I mean, again, so in your latest, which you were discussing, and let me see if I can just bring it up again and share it. When you were discussing it, and the latest book, what I just read, right there. Let's see where it is, and that would be in Source Enlightenment: The True Self. You you talk about good and evil a bit, and you mentioned good and evil before. And it's $2.99. It's great. Everything's on Amazon. He does do appearances here and there. You got to catch him, where he goes some events. But do you believe that there's good and evil, and they are at war with each other?
No, I think good and evil are nothing more than perception.
Wow. I mean, how do you? I was just on a show last night about serial killers.
Okay.
And boy, would four of us be candidates.
Boy, yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Were you
You
the
got a
subject?
serial killer.
No.
In the perceptions of our world today as humans, the perception is that murder for any reason is bad, and serial killers are even worse because they kill more than one person for whatever reason that they kill them, and they think that that's evil. It's not evil. It's just it's a perception. It's the way that it is. And what I said was, Source does not care whether who you are, what you have done, what you haven't done. Source loves you anyway, and Source will not condemn you to any prefabricated hell that you can come up with. And who better to judge you than you?
But I mean, I would. So, me considering what they do to some of these people, or children, or some other, like how they torture and manipulate, and the horror stories coming out of some places, and I'm not going to mention it because we will definitely get shut down. That's just my perception of it. There has to be balance, right? Or am I making that up?
There is just what it is.
Balance.
Balance is good. Yes.
Just be. Just be. Just be. In other words, just exist. Do whatever you need to do in that moment.
But it's kind of weird to think of, okay, well, if you do in that moment. So if I decided to, see somebody trying to do something to a child or whatever, a person trying to murder them or stab them, and I stop them, that's just my perception of what's going on.
No, that's not your perception of what's going on. Everyone, you, me, Dirty Filth, and Mark, we are all the same. We are all one. So by stopping somebody from hurting you, I am helping myself. I'm keeping myself from being harmed. You are an extension of me. I don't necessarily feel the pain, but I'm still keeping part of me from being harmed. Do you see what I mean?
No, I definitely see what you mean, and I'm just thinking about the reverse of that. How is, let's say, an adult hurting a child, preventing an adult?
You're not caring about yourself.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of it like me stopping somebody is I'm just trying to protect myself from that harm. But there are individuals that join into certain things like this, or part of organizations that do things like this, and groups. And you call it satanic, whatever, and you can see that's,
Because they're looking for power in places that power does not exist. I explain in the book exactly how to get all the power you'd ever want.
Yeah, he does explain towards the end of the book steps that you need to take. It's not anything crazy or out of the ordinary. It's basically getting in touch with yourself for the
And
most
here's the
part.
news flash for you. Once you got it, you don't really care about it. It's just there.
That's interesting.
It's kind of like you loathed for a brand new car and you worked your ass off to get a brand new car and you get that brand new car and for the first week you're driving that car all day every day. And then next week the car's sitting in the garage and you don't get in it for a month.
Right. So it's okay. Just trying to figure that out. My
Is
brain's
it like the
wrapping around it.
journey? It's like the journey is more interesting than the
The
actual
journey,
destination?
you get more from the journey than you do. Mind you, everything that you get, you keep. And unless there's too much there and you have to, it goes between your higher source and you. Say, for example, you got something, you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere and your car fucks up and you don't know how to fix it, but you got to fix it. Suddenly, your higher self gives you the information that you need to be able to fix it. And once you fix it and you get home, that information's back with your higher self and it's gone. Because if you had all that information, your head would explode. You'd go up in flames because it's too much.
That's your grand finale, Phil. Like, I'm going up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's this button do?
exactly. Here he goes. Here he goes. It's coming. Oh, yeah.
I'm never leaving my house. Screw that crap. What's the point of leaving your house when you're just going to go back there anyway?
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's kind of like my brother taking a shower when you're just going to have to take another one.
Yeah.
That's all right. I solved that problem by just showering on my birthday once a year.
Yeah. There you go. Well, either or not.
That works. That totally works. Yeah, it's kind of hard to grasp, your mind around the concepts in the latest book that you put out. Yeah,
Just grasping that. Grasping.
yeah, that would be Mark. Talking about his book. How to live life with a huge, penis, and his that was a follow up to How to Live Life with a Huge.
It's a bestseller.
It is a bestseller. I have Phil's book, by the way, and if you have a copy of it, Phil, throw it up. I don't have it here in this.
I sold them all at the Art
place.
Walk.
That is great.
I do, however, have a time slip book on the way to me.
Oh, that's awesome. That is really, really awesome. But it's just, I was sitting there reading it because I knew he was going to give me shit if I didn't. It's like, damn it, man, that's 2 fucking books. Tomorrow I'm actually going to start hitting the other book because I got worried when he's been talking about like juggling whether to continue doing or not, and the feedback is, it's important. Hey, kitty cat. It's important to get the feedback because, like, if you don't know if it's, being received well, why would you want to continue doing something if you don't get the feedback? But I've been saying to him, it's wonderful stuff. It's really getting great.
If you buy a book and you read it, you have to do your due diligence and at least go give however many stars. If you don't like it, just put something on the writers or authors, whatever. Put it on their page. Just say something. Let them know. I've bought books from authors that I wasn't really a fan of it, but I was a fan of the person themselves. And I was like, hey, good book, whatever. But you know what? That you get 3 stars. There wasn't any like maps in your book, and I'm a big map nerd, so 3 stars.
Yeah, I'm sure the book I put out, like, I got some good reviews on it, but not enough people. It was a thin, small book. But
Is
You
there
know,
boobies?
no boobies. It's just it's called Words
It's
and
already minus 1
Muses.
star.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's Mark's book. Mark is working on another. When Mark came on, he did a comment. You know, he talked about his book with the
Hungry
dinosaur,
old critters.
hungry old critters, and he's now doing something along the lines of those boobies are mine type of thing. So
Fire
you
hoses and
see
big
that book coming.
jugs.
Yeah, that would be that would be a great book. But like with getting back to Paul's books, um, I notice, and I mean this without reservation, your writing skill has accelerated. The stories have gotten so, better and better and better, and I'm totally encouraging you to keep going. You know, and what's really cool is he was, when you have a book and you want to get the audio version of, because some people, for whatever reason, if they they could be blind. I mean, I don't think it comes out in Braille. Does Amazon do a Braille copy? For no. So, I mean, the closest thing that um, people that have a disability on sight, even though the print is really big, it's very it's a wonderful size, great font. Um, the audiobooks are just as important. So we were talking about different audio, and I remember saying to him a couple of times, like, "Why don't you do it? You got a great voice for it. It's your book. Put your heart and soul into it." Versus, like, I heard one on when I was working during the summer many moons ago at a sleepaway camp a long time ago, and I went with the owner's son, who was like a brother to me, and we drove from Connecticut down to Virginia, and he bought all these books on tape or CD or something like that. No, books on tape, and we had to listen to James Wood reading like 3 different books, and that bastard has a speech impediment, and you just like, son of a bitch. I can't listen to this crap. It would be like the old comedian Buddy Hackett doing like your ways, Hawaii, or the priest in Princess Bride, marriage, this
And,
wouldn't work for me.
and then you have McLean Stevenson reading Robert Louis Stevenson
Yeah, the only thing
from
that
Spinal Tap.
from Spinal Tap, his voice is great. It was always great. If you listen to the old, is your archives up? Swamp Gas still on YouTube or no?
Yeah.
Okay, listen to the old thing. He started off with Dead in 5, Black Swamp Bride, and as soon as you heard, the guitar coming in, you're like, oh, this is going to be good. Yeah, it's really, really good. I'll try to find a link and post it into the chat or the comment section. I do get to collect this chat, so it's really good. But his voice is perfect for it. It is a real radio voice, and he was doing this long before everybody else was doing it. He always had a great show. It was Wednesday nights 10, right? 10 to 11 or and it was
10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 to midnight or whatever. And
yeah, and then
time zone.
depends on the time zone. But he had some really great guests. He actually, a lot of the famous people in the paranormal community, Paul's the one that got him on air first. He's the one that brought him to you. So I would definitely subscribe to his channel and look up Black Swamp Radio. I'll put it in there and start listening to some of the old shows, because buy his books, listen to the books, because he does it, and he's really good at the reading of his own books and expressing it. Yeah, we got John there. We were having an internet issue too. Actually, that could be the reason why some of your audio, Paul, was a little screwy. He's in Michigan, but it could be that area up there that we were having a ton of problems. And then again, it could be StreamYard. But welcome to the show. But all right, what other subjects are we supposed to hit tonight that I'm supposed to get taken off the air?
Well, hold on. You didn't ask me about the forest fires.
Can I ask you about the forest fires then?
Yes. There's been a lot of arson in Alberta, and it's so
Yeah.
bad. Even on the radio, you listen to like shitty K97 or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, most of these, 60% of Alberta forest fires are started by humans." It's like, well, we've been saying that for the last couple of years, and everyone's like, "You guys are just crazy conspiracy theorists." It's like, just because I'm wearing tinfoil on my hat and I draw cartoons about aliens, I
Yeah.
guess you're right. But it's like it's not just like someone out there with a gas can. It's like dickheads out on ATVs and stuff, and that's what started a lot of the forest fires. And of course, the government's lazy, and I remember when I was a kid, they used to do controlled burn all the time. I'm only 40, I guess. I'm only 40. I'm still a kid to some people, but they used to do controlled burns, and they would take care of certain areas every year, and there was never these massive forest fires. And then all the governments are lazy and shitty anyways, and they just kind of like cut back on it to have more steak dinners while everybody else had craft dinner and everything. So that's how that went. So yes, anyways, that was in Alberta. At least they had on public radio, they mentioned that 60% of the forest fires were human made. Whether you want to say that's like whatever
Isn't it-
political party going out there doing stuff, or anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No,
Well,
no,
that's
isn't
back
it-
to what some
ahead,
of the
Mark.
points we made earlier.
Yeah. It's like if you had to go in the last 10 years and looked at what was going on, compare what was being reported in mainstream media to the public and what the conspiracy theorists, your friend with the tinfoil hat, were saying, tinfoil hat people like were up by like 100,000 points. It's spot on. And I think they got to a point at this right now where I don't think anybody, I mean, if you still believe what's coming out on the news, either on paper or internet or whatever, I don't know. I feel sorry for you because, we got woo there.
Well, I feel
It's
like people.
Trump's fault. Yeah, it's Trump's fault. Let's blame him.
I feel like people prior to like 2015 were always like, I don't believe anything the newspaper tells me, because the newspaper and Fox and CNN and CTV
Yeah.
or whatever in Canada, they're all liars. And then all of a sudden, politicians come and go, and then they're like, oh, all of a sudden I believe all the news that I just said for the past 10 years I didn't like. But that's, anyways, I don't want to ramble about that stuff because.
Well, that gets back to what you were saying, Paul. Like, if you submit to source, you do the submission, you take the steps there, and you submit yourself 100%. The truth comes to you, doesn't it?
It does. Well, surrendering to source is surrendering to source. Surrendering to your higher self is surrendering to source. It's not the same, but it is. I don't know how to make it. You have the conversations and you have the communication between you and your higher self. That's where you get the information from, is your higher self. And your higher self is directly part of source. It never left source. It is part. You never left source. You are like a baby all cuddled up in a fucking blanket with your mom. And you're with your mom. You never left your mom. You never left source. You're dreaming right. This is a mass consciousness fucking dream, the way I look at it. And
Man, it's a bad dream, dude.
Believe it or not, it's only as bad as you make it. If your dream sucks, do something about it.
I mean, it's, I don't want to be a baby in the woman that gave birth to me's arms. That would not be a good thing.
Well, I could go around and get pissed off and say I ought to sue my mother because I never wanted to be born in the first place. But what the fuck is the point in that?
No, I'm not. I
You
just
get past it and move on. I mean, it's not going to change anything. I'm still here. So.
yeah. Well, like you don't get. Well, do you choose to be born? That's a good question.
Isn't that a part of a soul contract? You choose, your soul chooses a body of some sort, or is that a thing? Or there's so many different things. I don't really have a definitive
There's
a
no
definitive
contract.
idea.
You
So
just choose to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Right.
And
Well,
just because you pass on here and go back to source, the next time you come back, you don't have to come back to this world. You can go back to some other world. You can be some other life form on this planet, or whatever. You choose that.
well,
Sasquatch is back.
yep. Sasquatch is back. I've been told numerous times, by a variety of different people that you do have a soul contract, and you can come back to do something at a specific time period, whatever. And I've got to be honest, they must have drugged my ass, because how in the world would I sign up for the shit that I've been through? I have no idea. Unless it was to meet, Paul and everybody else, and maybe understand source and filth and Mark, to
Well,
get
let's
these
put it this way. Do what I
other way.
suggested to do in the book. Connect to source.
Yeah.
Connect to source. Source, your higher self will tell you everything that you need to know. And this conversation we're having here, you'll find out what's absolutely true about the conversation and what was horseshit. Like, for example, the contract. The contract's that's nothing more. That's bullshit. You choose where you're going to go, when you're going to go. If you want to go back to the 15th century and have a life there to experience it again, you do that.
Can I go back to the time when there were wenches and lots of, big steins and mead and that type of, that would
That's
be
totally
great.
up to you what you do.
Bryan wants to go be a Landsknecht.
I think I want to be a pirate. I'm just putting up Paul's book covers, because I
That's
promised
the
to
one
do
right
that.
there that Brian's in.
Yes.
I use his name in there.
And I will be reading it tomorrow, because I have just a little bit more time to actually play a little bit, and so I can actually start reading it and get it going on, and then I don't have to hear. It's kind of like if you ever watch the South Park episode with the human centipede. And there's a guy like Steve that plays Steve Jobs, and he's like, "Here, you can get out of this. Just sign the contract." And they and you didn't read it. You didn't read it. And it's
Nobody
all
reads the
about,
contract.
nobody reads the contract. You damn well didn't read it. So it's a great episode of South Park. So I just put these all in. And but yeah, South Park was a little bit weird, and actually I've been utilizing South Park ringtones. I have his ringtone is his startup for the show, and every time.
Bumper music, dude.
Say again?
It's called bumper music.
No, it's not bumper music. It's literally your ringtone. So it's.
Is it the music that bumpers into the show?
No, it's just. It's bumper music, whatever it is.
From a damp, dark extension to the laboratory, smells from the decomposing bodies of tweakers and crackheads that were used during experimentation for alien research. In an old, ghostly haunted abandoned dwelling with ghosts of all ages, somewhere in the alien-infested Black Swamp, Northwest Ohio. This is Black Swamp Radio Live. I am your host.
So that was his ringtone, but getting back to.
I thought you were talking about the music, but okay, yeah.
I have that coming in. Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Are you able to place an order for shitty chicken?
Shitty chicken? I have a better one for that. My friend
From the City Walk?
City Walk. Shitty Walk. Um, yeah, there's some. I have "Oh Canada," by the way.
Yeah, the
uh,
lyrics have changed. Doesn't count anymore.
the lyrics have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So um, I was literally going to a Thai Japanese restaurant for
Thai Japanese food.
yeah, Thai Japanese food, and my buddy calls me, and this is his ringtone.
Fuck.
I don't hear it.
So
Yeah.
Brian's been banned from that restaurant, is what we know now.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
my kid's eyes lit up. I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta stop it!" So I had that as the Chinese ringtone, and then I went to the post office, and again, South Park. There's the Man Bear Pig episode, and I'm standing there holding
It's
three
coming right for us.
huge boxes. Three huge
Are you
boxes.
cereal?
Yeah, not cereal. I had nobody but in front of me. I have these. There's no place to put the boxes down. Nothing. All the stuff's out of there. And there's this one guy working and one woman there ahead of me. And then my phone rings and it's pretty damn loud. So it's. So so that's going on. I'm just like, whatever. Everybody's looking horrifically at me like, how can you have that as a ringtone? And the guy in the back is like, and he came out and he's like, yo, man, I got to get that ringtone. And I'm like, if I could send it to you, I would. So, yeah. But
So-
I'm just nuts this way. Paul, is there any links or upcoming events or anything that's going up? Any disappeared that you would like to share with us besides the new book? Like how they can get in contact with you on social media or in person.
Well, you get in touch with me through Facebook. You type my name into Amazon, go to my author page. I mean, I don't do radio shows anymore. It's the first one I've done in a year.
Yeah.
And I haven't done any book signings all year. I might
Yeah,
do
it's-
one Sunday. If it's not raining, I'm going to do a book signing Sunday at a flea market, which is in a drive-in, an actual working drive-in. but it's
Really?
gonna be during the day. Yeah. So I jumped on that, and I figure but
Let's
then
all
they're saying
go.
it's going to rain, and it's going to be so fucking humid that you can't stand it anyway.
Oh man,
So,
yeah.
I'm going to whine about that.
You should do a video of like yourself dancing. Let's all go to the lobby. So you can get a book.
Yeah.
Like they used to have in the 40s or the 50s. Bilt, where are you coming up from? Where you go? What's coming up next for you as well?
I just finished the White Avenue Art Walk in Edmonton. I sold a bunch of plushies. I sold a whole bunch of artwork. Sold 4 books. I'm kind of short on artwork and everything now, but other than that, next Saturday, every Saturday indefinitely, 2 p.m. Pacific, I draw on Spaced Out Radio. Come there, listen to me ramble away about important things like what type of pickle juice is better to drink and types of Komodo dragon peppers or pepper X's I'm going to eat very soon.
Paul, he has this jar of peppers that were like
1.4
Yeah.
million Scovilles.
yeah, some serious
Ooh.
the real that's all that's
My associate, she made them for me. My accomplice.
your
She's got
accomplice.
3. She's got 3 pepper X. She makes the plushies for me. Fox Vegas. She's got 3 pepper X peppers growing currently right now.
How does she
Handle them?
make the peppers over 1 million Scoville units. How's that done?
It's just the seeds. She just takes the seeds, puts them in dirt, puts them out in her front yard, and it's north facing too. So
That's
The-
amazing.
The heat comes from the seed more so than the actual pepper.
Yep.
correct.
Yeah, I mean, you would think it would put hair on his, well, probably on his chest. It's there, but I mean, like that's yeah. Peppers, wow. Mark, are you going to be any place as well, or are you just hanging out and singing with John Denver reenactment band?
Yeah, we'll do of country roads, and just kind of working on getting some shows lined up. Reading Ron's book, so I'll be informed when you and Ron are guests with me.
That'd be great. I cannot wait to do that. We had Paul on our show when we did Inside the Goblin Universe, and great thing this man did. There was a girl that came on, thought she knew everything about everything, and he said, "Come on my show, we'll have a conversation." And she had a book in front of her, like the book that you would need to look up information, and he put her in her place perfectly. And it was you don't understand. It was like a train wreck, and it was just, you couldn't take your eyes off it. And I felt horrific for this girl, but I was like, it was about time someone shut her up. And he did it in like the most professional, gentleman-like way, not like mean-spirited, and she just couldn't hang with anybody. And she quickly, she retired from this whole radio podcast world. It was poetic. But I want to thank all of you guys for coming in. I want to thank everybody in chat for coming in. Kitty Cat, Harlan, who is here, Adventures with Beth. I'm just going to go through it. Filth, of course, you're there. We've got a whole bunch of people. Woo Rider, Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. I got it right this time, Wayne. I screwed that up the other day. And Joan. Oh, God. Brent Guzman was there. Lil Cam. There's a whole bunch of people here. Andrew and Gnome Trucking Express. I'm just going through whatever it is, but I want to thank everyone for being here. Amy Creel. We have a couple of people on Facebook. Sean Graham's here. I'd love to get you back on when you come out with some more stuff, Paul, if you can. And or if you could hook me up with some of the people that you used to interview with. And John Straw, thank you very much. Go ahead.
My next book should be about a vengeful ghost.
Yeah, that one sounds interesting. Like really fucked up interesting.
Filth, what do you have coming up tonight?
I'm gonna probably scribble some cartoons, and I'm gonna paint up a cartoon on Spaced Out Radio at 9 p.m. Pacific on Spaced Out Radio, and probably beat up my cats a little bit in the meantime.
There you go. You can do that. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm not going to be up for the Spaced Out Radio. I did Rob G's show, and I'm just wiped out. I need like a break from all of that stuff. But next week we have a psychic coming on, a psychic medium. And we're going to ask her to answer questions. So if you have questions in the chat, I'm going to have, and you want some readings, she's there.
Yeah.
She's going to put the readings together, and please,
You can
come
ask her
in.
where Epstein's hiding.
I'm not even getting involved in that one. I am not going anywhere near that with a 10-foot cattle prod, my friend. But again, thank you. And if it wasn't for everybody here, we couldn't do what we do. Actually, we could, but it's more entertaining when you have friends and when you meet new people. And thanks for everybody that's new that's jumped into the show. You guys have a blessed rest of the week. If you want, I will be at Gettysburg Battlefield Bash the 24th of July, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. And I'm, or the 24th to the 28th. And it's over in Gettysburg at the Eisenhower Hotel. Stop by. It raises money for charity. So people that are really in need, Gold Star families, Blue Star families. They had this young person there who their dad was making some woodworking stuff, like little pot holders and stuff. And the child suffering from a disease that's terrible. So, he's only selling the coasters. There were like, it was like $10 for 4 coasters. I mean, come on. So you give them $20, whatever it is, and you help people out. And then you see all these other people from Paranormal Land, and you finally put a face to the name, That could be very interesting. But until then, thank you very much. Paul, thanks for coming back on the show. And I think we're going to end it here. And stay cool, everybody. God bless.
You, it's always been you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I've seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you. True love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I will give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. I love you. God showed me you. I have been searching decades for you. I found you, I lost you. My heart is broken without you. My soul aches for you. I need you, I want you. My days are filled with you. I have seen the future with you. My home is with you. I have felt the future with you. My nights are filled with you. Love is you, true love is you. Love is you, true love is you. My happiness is you. Every past life is with you. My dreams are filled with you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you. I will fight for you. I will defend you. I would give up my life for you. Whatever it takes for you. Nothing else matters but you. I love you. I love you. Life is meaningless without you. My future is with you.